Shalom. I personally know and have met and am friends with several people who have converted through Rabbi Asher Meza's conversion program. And I'd like to share some of their stories with you today. One lady that I know went to one of his conversions in New Jersey, and she is from Canada, and she came with her two older daughters. They were past bat mitzvah age. One of them was possibly an adult already, and I asked her about her story. She said that she is Jewish, of Jewish ancestry, but she had no papers to prove it. And she had a Jewish husband. They got married and then had children. They had at least 3 together, the 2 daughters that were with her that day, and at least 1 son. She got sick later on in her marriage after they had their children together. And she became handicapped and couldn't really take care or provide for her family very well. And she said that her husband couldn't deal with that, with having a wife who was sort of an invalid, handicapped. So he ended up leaving her, divorcing her. He made Aliyah to Israel and started a new life. And the rabbis either didn't know about her and his former family, or considered the wedding, the marriage, not valid because they didn't have an Orthodox Jewish wedding, and she didn't really have any papers to prove her Jewishness. And I was shocked when she told me her story, because I would think that someone in her situation who had been through all that would have a great chance of blaming God for her situation and giving up on the faith altogether. And I was so happy that she didn't lose faith in Hashem, despite everything that happened to her, and despite another Jew wronging her in that way, and even abandoning her and the children. So her and her 2 daughters converted, and she told me that her son actually did a formal conversion to Orthodox Judaism in Israel that was approved by Israel, and went to yeshiva there and was actually studying to become a rabbi. But that path was not available to her and her daughters at that time. Maybe when her daughters are older, they could do something like that. But as for herself, because of her condition and her finances, that wasn't a possibility for her. So that's why she did the conversion with Rabbi Asher Meza. Not for political reasons, not for purposes of making Aliyah or being accepted into a Jewish community, but simply to declare her faith and become one officially with the people of Israel. And she knew that the conversion was not accepted by Israel, but she also knew that converting through Rabbi Asher would bring her a step closer to possibly one day having a formal conversion approved by Israel, if one day she was able to get that opportunity. Another woman I know that converted through Rabbi Asher married an Ethiopian Jew who used to live in Israel. His parents made Aliyah along with the rest of his family, and then he later moved away from Israel to America, and he married her, and they were currently going to a synagogue, a shul that accepted them. They were going there for many years, and she decided to make a formal statement and do a formal conversion to Orthodox Judaism. So she went through Rabbi Asher Meza as well. The couple was an older couple, So they didn't have small children who would need any kind of status in order to get married or be recognized. So she wasn't interested in a more formal conversion, and certainly her husband was not very worried about that either. So she converted, and they continue to go to their synagogue. And her husband, I heard him do the blessings and prayers for, I think it was Mincha, and it was so beautiful. It was the most beautiful, he was the most beautiful chazan that I had ever heard, actually. Another friend of mine that I know who converted through Rabbi Asher has a Jewish father and a Muslim mother who are both from Israel, and they later moved, and he's in America now. And he actually goes to an Orthodox shul that was visited by the Trump family several times, and he said that they were very nice. Ivanka Trump and her family. I guess he met them. And he was going there for a while. He converted through Rabbi Asher, and I'm not sure if he is younger, and does plan to get married. I'm not sure if he cares about in the future possibly doing a conversion approved by Israel. But for the meantime, he was happy, and he already belonged to a synagogue. Another friend that I know that converted through Rabbi Asher also already went to a synagogue, and before the conversion, and he was not interested in relocating his life or anything like that in order to go through a Beit Din approved by Israel. So he did it that way, and he's part of a Jewish synagogue right now, Orthodox synagogue, Orthodox community. But most of the people that I know that converted through Asher are families that were not able to move to Jewish communities or synagogues for various reasons. Financial would be a big one. Also, some of them have to take care of family locally, and so they can't uproot their life to do a more standard conversion process. So this is the biggest reason for most of the families that I know that converted through Rabbi Asher, is that they lived in an area where there's no Jewish community. Their finances or other responsibilities did not allow them to convert any other way. So obviously Rabbi Asher's conversions that he normally does are not approved by Israel, but he used to be on a Beit Din in North Miami Beach, Florida, for conversions that were approved by Israel, and he later decided to go solo. Why did he decide to go solo? Well, because he studied the Talmud and he realized that conversion was actually supposed to be very simple. The halacha only takes up about 1 page in the Talmud, and that it should take only a few days, not years as it does right now. Israel only allows about 25 rabbis in America to perform conversions that are approved for Aliyah. Conversion has become a very political process, a very political issue ever since the forming of the State of Israel. However, Rabbi Asher, I know that he strongly believes in Torah, in Judaism, and that it should be accessible and available to all who are willing to embrace it and accept it and be part of the Jewish people. So, I know there's a lot of negativity surrounding the topic of his conversions. And he always prefaces in his videos where he calls for conversions that if it's possible, that the ideal is for one to move into a Jewish community if they want to convert. But he specializes in those cases where that's not possible for people, either financially or otherwise. And also the Talmud says that the Torah should not be a shovel or a spade in which to dig, meaning one should not derive benefit from Torah. And so his conversions are free of charge. The ketubas are free, the wedding ceremonies are free. So everything that he does is not for Israel, but for Hashem, for Hashemayim. And I'm glad that he does what he does. I know it's not for everyone, but there certainly is a purpose and a place for what he does, and it has helped many people. Shalom.